tech. That's tech again. All right, 2 in a row. We're getting some good, good examples right now. Alright, I think it's time to explain what I keep talking about, for those of you who are confused. I want to break down a bit of Aki tech that only works in the Mai matchup and like how it was discovered, because I think it's pretty interesting, but this is one of those videos where I'm psyched to make this. I love this kind of stuff. I love obscure tech, but I'm sure like 99.9% of the YouTube audience has already left. This is for the real lab monsters, this one. Okay, let me set the scene. So basically, let me explain where we're at here. So I've been noticing something weird has been happening in the Aki versus Mai matchup. And what I noticed is that if I throw an EX Fireball and then anti-air Mai, she gets clipped from behind by the Fireball in a very weird way that other characters don't. So like, here's an example. This was from about day 3 of Mai coming out. This clip. That. So like right here, Mai is jumping over the EX Fireball. I'm anti-airing with crouch heavy kick. And for some reason, Mai, after getting anti-aired, immediately gets hit by the Fireball from behind, which this might not look like much, but I've played Aki for 100 billion hours, and this interaction prior to Mai coming out has never happened before. So this felt very weird to me. It's the kind of thing you wouldn't pick up on if you weren't like an Aki main, but I noticed this was not normal. The way that they're getting knocked into the Fireball here, no other character does that. I took my hunch to Twitter, and I basically said, I might just be imagining things here, but does Mai have an unusually large hurt box after getting hit by an anti-air or something? I noticed in matches, she seems to consistently get clipped by the back of Fireballs in this situation in a way that other characters generally don't. So here's an example from training mode. So I throw the EX Fireball against Guile. Guile jumps the EX Fireball. I anti-air with Stand Heavy Kick. And this doesn't happen, right? Guile does not get clipped from behind by the Fireball. It's just a reset. But against Mai, she does. You hit the anti-air, and she immediately gets hit from behind by the Fireball. So I thought, you know, does she have like an extra large hurt box when she's in, you know, the state after an anti-air? Like, what's going on here? Why is this happening? Am I going crazy here? Is this a gas leak? I don't know. So a lot of people offered their suggestions. Some people said they had sort of rough ideas. Some people said it might be just a gas leak and I'm imagining things. But shout out to the person who solved this mystery, which was Spabobin, which is a good name. And this is why this happens. And this is actually very useful tech that you can exploit in this matchup. So I guess I'll read it as it's been written here, but I'll explain in more detail in a second. So it's because in the first example, which is the one against Mai, Aki's OD Fireball is clashing with one hit of the OD Fan. Why am I invisible still? Have I just not been visible this entire segment? Have I done this entire content segment with my webcam off? Alright, well that's just staying in the YouTube video now, I guess. Okay. Aki OD Fireball is clashing with one hit of the OD Fan, which causes the second hit of Aki's OD Fireball to come out. This hit has a huge combo-only hitbox to make juggles more consistent, so Mai instantly gets hit by it. So, what the hell does that mean? So let me just show you a couple of things here. This is quite complicated. We're getting into the weeds of like very specific system mechanic breakdowns and stuff that you can only see by installing a hitbox viewer. So, this right here, this is the hitbox, the red part, on Aki's EX Fireball. Specifically, the first hit, because it has 2 hits. It's a 2-hit move. So even though the bubble is huge, the actual hitbox is actually quite small. It's this little red square inside it. However, if you collide Aki's EX Fireball in a way that causes the first hit to disappear, but the second hit to stay intact, it changes a bit. The second hit has a special hitbox, which is absolutely gigantic. Do you see this giga hitbox here that's like 3 times the size of the ball? Now, this gigantic hitbox has two special properties that mean you will almost never see it, right? Number one, this only applies to the second hit of EX Fireball, and also, you see in the top left-hand corner, it says combo only. And what that means is, you only get access to this gigantic hitbox on EX Fireball's second hit if the game registers that the opponent is in a combo. So, by default, it's not this big, but if the game recognizes your opponent is in a combo, the hitbox becomes gigantic, and the idea is that Capcom don't want you falling out of the EX Fireball mid-combo. They don't want like one hit to connect and the second hit to drop. So it's got this special gigantic combo-only hitbox on the second Fireball. And the reason, cutting back to the Mai matchup, the reason this was happening is specific to the Aki Mai matchup, because Mai is the first character ever added to Street Fighter 6 who has a single hit EX Fireball. This is why I was getting confused, why this was only happening against Mai. This thing. No previous character has ever had a one-hit EX Fireball, which means when these two Fireballs interact like that, this is the only time when Aki's EX Fireball gets reduced down to just the second hit. Normally it's 2 hits, but after this interaction, it's only 1. So that's the first condition set up. We need access to just the second hit of EX Fireball. And the other thing is, when you hit the opponent with an anti-air, the game on that frame, when I make contact with the anti-air, the game registers my opponent is being in a combo state. So, if they're anywhere near the EX Fireball second hit while being anti-aired, the game suddenly goes, oh, the opponent is being comboed right now, so we're going to apply the gigantic mega hitbox to EX Fireball, and that's why this works. So, the short version of this is this. You don't need to know all that stuff. That's just the technical explanation for why this happens. But, if you trade Aki's EX Fireball with Mai's EX Fan, and then use a normal to anti-air Mai immediately afterwards, which is a surprisingly common interaction, as I've shown earlier, something like this will happen. So you see, pretty much every single time, she will get hit twice. She will get hit by the anti-air normal. That sets the flag for the game to think Mai is in a combo, and that causes her to get hit by the gigantic combo-only hitbox on the second hit of EX Fireball. And why is this useful? Well, normally when you anti-air with Aki's Stan Heavy Kick, you actually don't get a combo out of this. So if I just anti-air normally with Stan Heavy Kick, notice my opponent is actually not getting put into a juggle state. They're just flipping out again. But because of this one specific interaction, the game will immediately combo you into the falling Fireball. And from there, Aki can actually pick up a full combo from it. So, if you do it correctly, it should look like this. And then you can go into, you know, supers and stuff from here. You can go into Cower Crouch Dive and get a combo out of it. So there you are. Incredibly specific, quite complicated tech that only works in this one specific matchup because no other character in the game really has access to like a really slow EX Fireball that would be suitable for setting this up. But this is actually useful to know in this matchup. This has happened to me already a bunch of times. So other characters don't really trigger this because their EX Fireballs are quite fast. Most characters don't have a slow EX Fireball, which is why this is mostly Aki only. Wouldn't a normal non-EX Fireball do the same thing? No, because think about what happens when an EX Fireball makes contact with a regular non-EX Fireball. It doesn't lose any hits. It will still be 2 hits after destroying it. It has to be a 2-hit EX Fireball making contact with a 1-hit EX Fireball. That's why this has never happened before. And that's why this is... I'm glad that I wasn't going crazy. I'm glad that I knew something weird was happening here, because I thought, there's no way this is just like an interaction that I've never seen before, happening just with Mai. So, yeah. Shout outs to the 3 people that are still watching the video at this point. I know This is probably not the most exciting topic, but this is the kind of stuff that I like talking about. And I will see you guys all in the next video.